It's been more than 2 months since Sergeant Jason Gooding was shot and killed. It happened while trying to arrest an armed man back in February. Now the cases he was heading up are expiring too, freeing some criminals and leaving victims frustrated. Welcome to KOIN 6 News at 6. We found out dozens of criminals could now go. In fact, Clatsop County prosecutors had to lessen the charges against a Seaside man that was accused of sexual assault. That's because Sergeant Gooding was the lead investigator on the case. He was shot and killed in line of duty, and if an investigator cannot testify, their reports become hearsay and cannot be used in court. Jennifer Dallin spoke with that victim. She joins us now live from the newsroom with that story.
Good evening, Chris. The most serious case that was impacted was that rape and sodomy case against a Seaside man that was pleaded down to sexual harassment. We spoke to the victim and her mom, who felt that justice just wasn't served.
Officer Gooding, he was amazing. I thought he was great.
The victim says Jason Gooding was the first person to fight for justice for her. She says the sexual assault happened when she was 11. Traumatized, she finally told a caseworker years later at age 15. That's when Gooding took over the investigation.
I felt like, finally there's going to be people who think that this matters and that what happened to me mattered.
Her mom says Gooding was like a champion for her daughter.
Held her hand through every court hearing, and he attended everyone with her, but that was all inadmissible.
Clatsop County District Attorney Joshua Marquis told us Friday that Ronald Flores was arraigned in April of 2015.
He was indicted by the grand jury on charges of sodomy in the first degree and sex abuse in the first degree.
But even though a grand jury decided enough evidence was there for the case to move forward, state and federal law still requires a perpetrator to face their accusers, which in this case included Officer Gooding.
If we can't produce them, even if they've testified at grand jury, we may not be able to proceed with the case.
Marquis said pleading the case down to a Class A misdemeanor would not sit well with Gooding, but they had no choice.
I'm sure he'd be very, very upset about the legacy of his cases being some of them having to be dismissed. But there's no other choice under Oregon law.
The family wishes the state would consider changes.
Once a report is filed, a report is made, as long as it's documented, even if an incident like this happens where the arresting officer is harmed or perhaps ill or something, somebody should still be able to step in.
And Marquis said there were a few misdemeanor cases that had to be dropped because Gooding was the critical witness. A couple of those were DUI cases. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, Jennifer, keep us updated on any changes.